Good evening, Bucks fans. We are back. It's Real Bucks Talk. I'm Michael Plus, joined as always, Mark Ramirez. And man, it's finally here. We got training camp right around the corner. It's actually happening this weekend. So, very exciting times. It's great to finally diving into more X's and O's. And it's awesome to be a Bucks fan right now. If you guys didn't catch it, we put out Devin White's film study out earlier today. So, be sure to check that out. But Mark, how are we doing, man? It's time. It's go time.
It's awesome, right? It's days away. It's not months, weeks. We're here. We saw the Lightning win a championship back to back. Now we get to see if the Buccaneers can get on a run of their own and try and go for back to back championships. Make it seriously Tampa Bay, I guess we call it, right? Championship City. It's it's something where there's things everyone in the city of Tampa or just around the area is excited. It's not just because Tom Brady's because this offense is loaded. I mean, yeah, we'll talk about Tom Brady and his knee and how he still defies time. But overall, yeah, hell yeah, I'm excited. Hell yeah, I'm excited to see the new guys, see training camp unfold. Like, what does Jalen Darden do? How big and how ready is Joe Tryon? Like things like that where you just haven't seen any of them. And who makes the biggest leap this year? Is it Antoine Winfield Jr., who I've been hyping up for all offseason, or is it someone else? Like who takes that and runs with it? So it's going to be exciting. A lot of topics to talk about. And guys, bring in your own questions. Let us know who's a guy that you're looking forward to seeing and excited to get hyped over.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I mean, with that said, again, we have a new audience joining us here tonight. We're officially part of Bucks Report, and they are pretty much having us. This is our debut on their show, so it's awesome to be a part of them and bring in more listeners from Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, etc. So again, we appreciate everyone who's watching right now, and again, like Mark said, bring in your questions, bring in comments, any thoughts that you have. Feel free to bring them up, and maybe later in the show we might even have some live call-ins. So we'll see what we can do there. But yeah, I mean, it's an exciting time. A lot of new, pieces. Kyle Trask, and how is he going to look? There's just going to be a lot of talk about, is this team having the right mindset? Are they, how are they preparing, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of good stuff, a lot of good position battles, and yeah, definitely it's going to be. I can't wait for it to start.
that's a good thing. Bruce Arians said, scrap last year. Last year was last year. The whole new year. Now you got the X on your back. Everyone's coming for you. They're going to give you the best every week. So can you still win? Can you still be the top dog? Because everyone's going to want to be you. So it's going to be an exciting year. I mean, hell, we got the first damn game of the season. How exciting can that be for real?
Mm-hmm.
But I also want to say, yeah, awesome. Thank you for Bucks Report getting us on the bandwagon and getting us this whole new cool audience. And guys, interact with us. We'll interact with you. It's just Buck fans being Buck fans, and it's going to be an exciting ride. But let's actually jump into. I guess we touched on it earlier. Old Tom Brady playing with his shabby knee. So let's
Mm-hmm.
actually kind of jump into that. What do you think about Tom Brady playing the entire year with his MCL torn? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty. I mean, I can't say it's not a surprise because Tom Brady is Tom Brady, and he finds a way to, if he can be out there, he's gonna play. So it just adds more to up there's Fukuwab. What up, man? So yeah, it just adds more to his legend, and it's really cool that he was able to find a way, to just continue to battle through that, and it's not easy.
Not easy at all. I mean, it's and no one even heard about it. I think even some people, I forgot who it was. You put it on Twitter. Were saying how I can't believe the Buccaneers didn't disclose that and say, "Oh, he was injured all season. They should have said something and reported it. That's so terrible." And I was like, "Are you crapping me? Like
Mhm.
Tom Brady, it's at his discretion if he wants to unveil that he has a torn MCL. It's no one else's. I mean, if the team doctors didn't look at it because he said no, it's up to him. I mean, his 43-year-old ass was sitting out there said, "No, I'm good enough to play."
Right.
And guess what? He went out there, he performed, and all that's said and done, he won another damn championship. So
Mhm.
Tom Brady being Tom Brady, his legend, his legacy just continues to grow, and it's insane how good this guy is. And I think every Buck fan all over is excited that he came to Tampa. He chose Tampa primarily, and let's go for another one, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's just basically it's Tom Brady and his name, and that's why this story's made higher than it needs to be, or played out as a big deal. I mean, sure, it's important what he did, but I mean, people trying to criticize, you know, criticize him for not telling the Bucks or trying to get the Bucks in trouble and all this stuff. I'm like, Cam Brate played with a torn hip a couple years back, and he was never on the injury report, and a lot of players do that. They play through injuries before the season even happens, and they're never listed on the report because it's not in danger of them missing the game.
Well, I
Uh,
was joking with some people saying like,
mhm,
"Oh, so what am I going to say? Like, if so Vita Vea had gas, we didn't report that. Like someone broke, like literally, I got a hangnail. Looks like Shaq Barrett has hangnail. Got to report that. Like, you're gonna get
right.
to that point. I mean, it's up to the player's discretion. I mean, someone put, if I recall, wait, also he injured his MCL in 2019, but also rumor is Bucks covered it up. Did they really? Do you think Tom Brady would have sat out because of an MCL tear? I mean, what about? I know it's a different sport when the Lightning say, "Oh, lower body injury."
Mhm,
Does it really matter? I mean, it's up to the player whether they're going to play or not, really. And did it hinder his play? Let's say it did. What the hell is going to happen this year?
right.
Like, just think of it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the funny thing. Now is he going to be running, triple options like Jordan, Jordan said earlier in the chat. So it's
Oh, it's going to
it,
happen.
it's going to be fun. I mean, is he going to be more mobile? Yeah, sure. I mean, does that make him Michael Vick? No. But his ability to move inside the pocket, I think is definitely going to be better. I mean, it's really scary when you think about a fully healthy Tom Brady, and hopefully, that is the case right now, and it seems like it is. So, yeah, sky's the limit. And a lot of people on our YouTube channel, commenting about him potentially doing 60 touchdowns this year. Wouldn't put it past him. I mean, he's got a lot of potential for great things because they're going to be just better with the chemistry.
I can't wait. It's going to be something special, something, hopefully, again, a team united, but injury free. That's the biggest thing. So, yeah, let's actually look at, some people are saying who will take the last cornerback spot. So let's actually take a peek at that position, I guess. So cornerback. So let me share this over here. Plus, bring us on in. There we
There
go.
we go.
Okay.
Yep.
So if we're looking at the defense, looking at corners, obviously Carlton Davis, CB1. We've mentioned it for a long time now. He's number one. They don't even have here two. Our lads is lagging. They don't even have the number two over here. But, I mean, so you're assuming it's either, we touched on this, right?
It's at the bottom there, Mark.
Okay.
There you
Jamel
go.
Dean and Sean Murphy Bunting.
Yeah.
We touched on it last live stream. So I think it's going to be, we both agreed, Jamel Dean will be your outside starting corner because Sean Murphy Bunting is going to be playing the nickel, which we're in probably 70 to 75% of the time, meaning there's three starters. You don't really need to see who's the number two corner. If it's just two corners out there, I would assume SMB and Jamel Dean are interchangeable. But if
Mhm.
it's three cornerback setup, I think it's Carlton Davis, CB1, and then Dean and Murphy interchangeable. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. Again, it's you're going to be a nickel defense, 70 to 80% of the time. So most likely they're going to have Murphy Bunting, as your nickel, and then Jamel Dean as the other corner. So yeah, I mean, when you look at it, it's definitely, I think that's how they set it up. And the good news though is if an injury does happen to one of those guys, I think you have flexibility where you can put Murphy Bunting on the outside and have like Winfield Jr. maybe playing the nickel, or Mike Edwards, etc. They can go that route.
It's again, the roster's loaded. Okay, guys, we've been touching on this all off season. It's going to be hard pressed to find an area where someone else can start. That's the biggest thing. Like I'm wondering, does someone take another massive step forward? And is it someone that's not a starter right now? The only one we got last week when we looked at it was, does Aaron Stinney jump Alex Kappa? If you guys see someone else in the depth chart itself, like who would make a bigger jump, let us know. Who do you see or who are you pulling for? So let's look more in the chat. There was talk about suspension, loss of draft picks. Do you think that's possible? Oh, for the Bucs cover up thing? I'll let you take that one. What do you think about that? Do you think it really will do anything like that?
No, I mean, I'm sure the league will look into it, but again, I just don't feel like they have any grounds to do something like that, to bring down a sentence of that nature. So yeah, I highly doubt it. But again, you never know with how the league is and Tom Brady, and
Right.
maybe they'll. I personally, I don't see it. I think the Bucs should be fine. Again, it's an injury he had of April of last year, and he played through it. And I think he was on the injury report, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of times at least. I'm not sure if it was for a knee or what, but you know, eh,
He
yeah,
threw away the text messages. He burned the phone.
yeah,
What
him
I
and
say?
his
I have a tornado MCL. No, I'm burning this phone.
burner accounts. So yeah, sure, yeah.
Right.
I
No.
think the Bucks should be fine though.
I mean, is it is the rest of the league that mad that he won another championship that he had to have his name on an injury report? And that's what's going to cause us to lose picks. Like, you see what's going on in other organizations, and this is what you're worried about?
Yeah,
Crazy, crazy to me.
I think the it really mainly stems from Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk. I mean, that guy just has it out for he has it out for Tom Brady. Like he wants to get him to retire as soon as possible. So
Keep winning. Keep pissing people off. You pissed
yeah.
me off when you were in the Patriots, but I'm happy you're here now.
I called him out on it, so he didn't respond back.
You weren't big enough, I guess.
Nope. Guess not.
But do you see anyone yourself? I mean, I know we mentioned the guard position. What about on
Mhm.
defense? Do you see someone overtaking a position? Front seven at all? Anywhere?
Oh man, front seven is
Stacked?
locked and loaded. Yeah, it'd be tough. I mean, I don't see Nacho. I mean, overtaking any of those guys. I think Will Golston is firm starter. I don't see and Sue Vita Vea. They're going to be in there. You look at Barrett, JPP. Those are your four main guys. Linebackers aren't changing, so yeah, I don't really see anyone. I mean, it would have to be like from a rotational standpoint, but I think it's going to be pretty much the same. I mean, you could see surprise cuts now, like Khalil Davis might not make the team. You look at Patrick O'Connor; he's kind of a special teams ace, so they got to keep him.
Well, I'm more looking. Do you think Mike Edwards takes that next step and actually jumps Jordan Whitehead for that position? Because I mean, they all root and holler about how he's like literally a ball hawk playmaker in practice. He was the first guy to get a pick on Tom Brady. Oh, he's a playmaker, right? That's what they talk about Mike Edwards. But they don't really mention Jordan Whitehead that much. I know I like Jordan Whitehead a lot. The position he plays in the box, literally he's like a fourth linebacker. I love him. But does he get jumped by Mike Edwards, the playmaker?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say no, but I
Deep.
think, yeah, I'm going to say no, but I think all three of them are going to play. I think they're going to use more three safety looks than they did last year because the guys are more comfortable in the defense, so they can do more of that stuff that they did in the Super Bowl. So I think you'll see more opportunities where Whitehead's playing more in the box, and you can use Edwards as your deep safety where he suits best. You just don't want him coming downhill a lot because he's not the best tackler. I think him in coverage, that's where he's got to step because he can just read things a little bit quicker.
Yeah, even Jordan Durr in the chat said the same thing. I thought Whitehead tackles better than Edwards. That's why he starts. Yeah,
Agreed.
but I'm just wondering again, this is his third year in the system. Edwards is a playmaker. There's no doubt about it. He was there in Kentucky. He's done it all training camp, his rookie season. I mean, Bruce Arians was hooting and hollering about him nonstop. Then he got his injury, his hamstring injury.
Mhm.
Last year, he played less last year than he did the year before, which is crazy.
Yeah.
He still got a production increase in production. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, that may be a camp battle that no one really is talking about because maybe he's like, no, forget this. I want to take my
Mhm.
place. Maybe he's that type of guy that kicks the door down and says, okay, Whitehead, I know you've been the guy here. You're a big hitter, but I'm ready to take my next step. You never know. We'll see. I mean, he wore Jordans on that in that New Orleans game where he got the picks pick to
Right.
end the game. So we'll
Yeah.
see. You never know.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of questions here regarding the guy from Navy, Cameron Kinley.
Mhm.
They're talking about Chill Will here. He's talking about, our seventh round pick, Wilcox. Do you think he's in jeopardy of losing his spot to Kinley?
I think anyone that knows later rounds is at risk. I mean, there's no given that they're going to even make the team. Grant
Right.
Stewart, not given. Wilcox, not given.
Yeah.
Kinley, yeah, even though he has a whole fan base around him now because he's going to be fighting for this, but this team is stacked. Again, it's going to be hard to make it. And usually some veteran or some special teams ace is going to be the guy. And if you can win the gunner position, that's probably what they drafted Wilcox for. He looks like Ryan Smith, let's be honest.
Yeah.
He's speed and lanky. That those traits coincide with being a great gunner. So let's see. I think that's going to be the battle we're going to see.
Mhm.
Is anyone given anything? Hell no. Just because you were drafted doesn't mean anything. What's your take?
No, I agree. I think, the Bucks are probably going to have the best practice squad in the league. I mean, when you think about it, they have a potential to be. I mean, they're going to be cutting some really good players. And I think you'll have a good mix of veterans and younger guys on that practice squad. Potentially Ryan Griffin could be on that practice squad. So, guys like that, older players that may not make it. Herb Miller is another one at
Yeah.
corner. He's been here for a while now, and so it'll be interesting to see, what happens there. But yeah, a lot of good positions. I mean, the linebackers, Krillin brings up, Grant Stewart. I'm a big fan of him too. I hope he can find a way, but again, a tough position that he's in. So really depends on the, you know, how they do on every asset, as far as special teams. But with that said, guys, let's go to our sponsor. You guys have talked or shown this before.
Yeah. So
Symbol.
yeah, I'll take this one away. So yeah, Symbol. This is our sponsor for Real Bucks Talk. What is Symbol? It's the stock market for sports. This is a cool idea, guys. If you guys haven't heard of this just yet, it's literally trading sports like stocks. It's as basic as you can get it. But let's go into it a little bit more. Sports betting is fun. Investing in the stock market is great. And Symbol has created a way for you to enjoy both of those at the same time. Only with Symbol, you can trade teams like stocks and earn cash when your teams win. Simple idea. Literally find your favorite team, a la the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or whatever team you like. If it's the Aints, if it's the Falcons, whatever it is, do you get them, buy them, earn win payouts whenever they win. So it's like a dividend of a stock. If it's an NFL team, you win 50 cents per share that you own. Same thing works for NBA and MLB. It's just lower shares since there's a lot more games. Then you can trade them like stocks. Buy low, sell high, sell overrated teams. I mean, imagine if you're buying a Joe Burrow-led Cincinnati Bengals, and then all of a sudden they go on a run, they start winning, the stock goes up because people want that stock. You sell it, make some money out of it. It just brings a whole new aspect to rooting for your team. I mean, it's either buy and hold, just laugh, and every time you get 50 cents per share, or you just trade them because you're like that. You like to do that. So 24/7, 365. Cool concept. Really like the idea. If you want to learn more, just hit that play button on YouTube and check it out more. But with that said, let's keep talking some, I guess, depth chart. Well, who else? Grant Stewart was the big one people were talking about. But uh, with me, I like him too. Someone said he's a good locker room guy. The dude is just endless motor, greatest hair on the team already. I'm
Mhm.
waiting for his Head and Shoulders interview. Uh, a guy you want to make the team. Another one of those guys. It's loaded. I think he'd be perfect on our special teams. You said that we would be probably the best special teams team. I don't know about that. We're still having to hold guys that no, we don't want to just give away. And then our special teams is getting new, fresh talent. That doesn't mean they're going to be better. I guess they're going to be better motors. I guess
Mhm.
guys like maybe KJ Britt, uh, Stewart, whoever wins this last cornerback battle. But it's a lot of youth. I mean, I like to have veterans out there that know what the heck they're doing. So it's a tough one for me. I don't think they're
Mhm.
going to be the best, but I think they should be better and more motivated, I guess.
Yeah, I would say that as well. I think, they definitely can nothing but better. They can always, go up from what they've been. Obviously it's a unit that needs improvement. It needs to be faster. It needs to be more physical, more consistent. So I think in those regards, it's going to be. You talk about Jalen Darden and how excited you are to see him and see what he can do. He's going to be critical to the special teams. It's really going to be his role to take over and be that guy. So that should be something to watch. It looks like we still have to wait and see what happens with Jaden Mickens. He's having some trouble with off the field, so he could be yeah. I mean serious trouble, but it could be the end of the road for him. Going forward. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm excited to see Darden. I can't wait to see his shiftiness and his ability to, make people miss. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, he's going to find a way on the field, whether it's gadget plays on offense, whether he does win the punt return position, or hell, kick return. We'll see. I mean, what is the competition at that position? Just Scotty Miller? Is that about it? Who else would you say is a viable option there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you got to think Darden's the front runner for, both spots, kick return and punt. But yeah, I mean, you're really looking at, Scotty Miller, maybe they try Rojo again. I don't know if they'd do that, but I know they had Rojo out there at one point for kick return.
Well, right now it's Tyler Johnson and Antoine Winfield for kick returner. That's
Oh,
what
okay.
they have listed.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I
Tyler
don't know. I
Johnson could
mean,
take a couple though.
yeah. I know they've had like, Antonio Brown in the past, fielding, footballs, but I just don't know. Sean Murphy Bunting maybe. So really it's up for grabs. But I think you got to think Darden, his ability, I think they're going to let him try it. So, and a lot of people in the chat are saying Antonio Brown,
Yeah.
as far as kick return. Gio Bernard, maybe.
I mean, again, we're beating a dead horse when we say this. It is loaded,
Yeah.
but I think Darden really is going to be that guy that's going to take it and run because literally a guy with a talent like that can run, make you miss,
Mhm.
quick shiftiness. You want him on the field in some way or form. Whether it start with kick return, punt return, and then eventually turn into playing time, we'll see. But I think you just need to give him the ball in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you all as Buck fans better hope he wins it because that would be fun and electric and exciting for our special teams.
Mhm.
We really haven't seen much special teams excitement here in Tampa, let alone just the one Michael Spurlock, Carl the Truth from way back when,
Yeah. Clifton Smith. And
Clifton Smith. That was fun.
that
Yeah,
was pretty much
that's
it.
that's make you miss right there, Clifton Smith.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that and, Aaron Stecker at, for a couple of times, but yeah, I mean, and then we also had like, the dreadful Dexter Jackson, not the safety, but the receiver.
Yeah.
He was just scared to get hit, so you fall down. And then we also had, the great Tim Brown who would just, fair catch it every time.
What did you
Uh,
expect? He's going
yeah.
to disintegrate.
Churn into dust. Yeah. But no, it should be, ideal scenario. Darden wins both jobs and he becomes that guy, becomes like a Dante Hall. I mean, that's what you're hoping for. He can be that electric
Mm.
guy that can, take back kicks and just get us good field position every time. And that makes it easier on the offense, which this offense doesn't really need. But, if you can do that, great. So yeah, man.
Krillin's over there defending Tim Brown. He's right. They get him really late in his career.
He was like on his last year.
That's
So
why I said he was going to poof. I mean, if you get hit, he's like, "Oh, I'm dust."
mhm.
All right. But that comes with it. Why did they even put him back there is a question. Why did he agree to do that?
I
That's
think
another one.
that was just Gruden's way of like, don't drop the ball. Let's get the football and go.
True.
So
Very true.
we did
Let's
the we did the same thing with Adam Humphries. So
I can see him actually returning. He actually had a couple good ones.
he
Nothing
did.
great, but
Right. He did.
he had some excitement going on.
Right.
Let's see. Let's look at some keys on. Oh, again, we touched on this last week about the running
Mhm.
back position, like Rojo, Leonard Fournette, who kind of wins number one. It doesn't really matter to me, being honest,
Mhm.
but and looking forward to the future, guys, we always kind of give a little hint at what we're going to look at or film studies moving in the week. Fournette's going to be on there.
Mhm.
We have a couple more coming, so get prepared for some more videos. We love doing this. We love the reaction from you guys. It's always exciting. But just be prepared for Wednesday.
Mhm.
Krillin back there. Gruden was crazy. Man, what if Chris Sims was still our quarterback? Plus,
Oh
I'll let
man.
you take that one.
Oh man. I was one of the biggest supporters of Chris Sims, but it just, after that spleen injury, he just never was the same. And, you know, it was unfortunate he was in Gruden's system because it really didn't play to his strengths. They did a lot of tough things for him. But again, it was a fun time, that 2005 season when he came in. That was pretty exciting.
There's a couple things. He's lefty, plus his lefty. Obviously, a lefty's going to root for a lefty.
That's true.
Another thing, we're screaming for him to get in there. Greasy was quarterback. We're like, damn it, just get hurt. The bastard got hurt. I was like, oh, I felt so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Got hurt him. And then we're like, yay, but no, yay. I didn't want it to be this way, but I guess football. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, when you look back at it, if Greasy was healthy in that '05 season, we probably would have went farther.
yeah,
We probably would have made it. Who knows? I mean, who knows how far they would have went? But again, 2020, and it just really, Cadillac and Chris Sims, unfortunately, they went down together. That same year. So it was just tough to see that.
yeah. I mean, Cadillac. Gosh, another one we loved
Mhm.
growing up, but
Yeah.
or Cadillac. But let's kind of move over to Buccaneers.com and check out their little six bucks to keep an eye on as training camp opens.
Mhm.
Again, guys, training camp is opening. This is exciting. So I mentioned Ronald Jones. We touched on that, guys. If you want to talk on that, hit us up in the chat. Let us know about that. But number two, they have Vita Vea. You're gonna miss him. So what is your take on Vita Vea being a guy to keep your eye on this year? Because they picked up his 5th year option for 2022. Now he's gonna hopefully have a full healthy season. What do you think about Vita Vea and his production moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's critical. I mean, whoever, follows our show and follows our podcast or film studies, I mean, we're always talking about Vita Vea because of how important he is. I mean, he's the key to the defense. He makes everything go. He makes everything easier. And I don't know if you guys saw the latest, the current by the Buccaneers, the videos that they've been doing. They talk about how he was on a roll, like he was starting to get back to, you know, really producing and having the best games of his career. Like that Chicago game, he was everywhere, and then he gets hurt. So it's like if he can show that potential and just continue to, grow as a player, I mean, sky's the limit. And if he starts getting 5 to 6 sacks a year, I mean, that makes him even more deadly.
And even if you listen to in the current, everyone respects this man. Devin White says, my job's so easy. Levante says it. Same thing with Vita Vea in front of me. Even SMB was on with Loose Cannons talking about how Vita Vea is such a huge impact. It makes
Mhm.
everyone's job that much easier. That's huge. It's almost okay. I'm not going to compare it 100% to Tom Brady, but literally, Vita Vea's effect on the defense is that great. You
Mhm.
can't single the man. When you double him, he's still moving you. He's moving the pocket. So those ends just eat off of that. And then Devin White and Levante David have A gaps to just fly into. With that speed and that team defense, it's incredible. And then if you have a younger secondary, now even more mature, Vita Vea is crashing the pocket like that. Jump first read, you get
Mhm.
so many more opportunities throughout the game. So I mean, we've always been huge on Vita Vea, even during his draft when everyone was crying for Derwin James. We're sitting there saying, no, we got the right guy. Let it be. He just started slow, but it's proven based off his other teammates saying how valuable he really is for this defense.
Mhm. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So, yeah, definitely he's big piece of the puzzle. But let's continue to go down the list here as we go to number 3. And
Oh yes.
this is pretty much the same as Vita Vea. I think both of these guys, well, OJ Howard probably more so, because he just really hasn't had a full season to really show his impact. So, he really is the X factor on offense. I think that is where, the biggest piece of the offense could really take place with OJ. And I agree with this article. I would probably put him over Rojo. I think he's probably number 1 in my opinion. Just the storyline and, what he can bring to this team, very important.
Yeah, we kind of touched on this on the last live stream. Could you imagine that we already have a freak in Rob Gronkowski, probably the best tight end to ever play it? I mean, he's pretty close to Tony Gonzalez right there. And then you have OJ Howard, another physical freak that you can't really cover one-on-one, and he's learning from one of the best. It's if he's healthy, we've seen it. A tight end getting 70-yard plays, 60-yard plays, running away from guys. That's not normal. The only thing that's been stopping him is his injuries. So it's now in a year where he was Tom Brady's number 1, pretty much first option, like safety blanket. It's going to be fun if he stays healthy, if he's ready to go. Hopefully they slowly bring him in, just like how they kind of did with Gronkowski.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully he's the X factor in the playoffs, but we'll see. I mean, OJ, we've been waiting for that year. Is it this year? Is it this year? Let's see if it is this year. I mean, he's going to be playing for a contract as well, correct?
Yeah, definitely. And and that's the thing that's been like surrounding him his whole career, the potential. When are we going to see that? And a lot of people are talking about it here in the chat. Bud says it perfectly, but OJ is only a potential player. Yeah. He's got to prove it. So, and I think he knows that, and hopefully he gets those bounces where he stays healthy and he can be out there, consistently. Him and Gronk, it just allows you to do so much. You can keep Gronk and OJ in there to block and have, max protection for Brady. You give Brady that much time, he can do so much damage with the receivers we have. And it allows so many opportunities for multiple things that we haven't seen as Bucs fans. And that's what makes it very exciting.
That's another part of the game. Yeah, we're mentioning him as a receiver. You just said his blocking. Mm-hmm. He's always been the better blocker. Oh, him hands down over Brady every time. So
and he took a step forward last year. Right? Like his blocking was on another level. Like it was better last year.
Alabama level.
Yeah.
Like think about that. Like what if Gronkowski and him are interchangeable and you're like, oh, Gronk's gonna stand and block, but he doesn't because OJ slides over. Imagine like we touched on this again last year. The 13 personnels, scary. They could just run the whole damn offense that way. They won't because our receiver room is loaded. It's just, ooh.
Yeah.
OJ, I can't wait. Can't wait.
Yeah, just having the flexibility where OJ can be that H-back or you can have Cam Brate as the H-back. Basically what we mean by H-back is like they're able to come out of the backfield and you can use them as a blocker or receiver. So it just, you can do so many things and the play action game gets so much more fun with that. And like I said, again, it's been my motto. If you guys have been following the show, wide ass open, it's going to happen. So a lot of great things coming, but yeah, just looking at this training camp this week, as we talked about a lot of good battles, but let's talk about, well, actually, I'm sorry. Let's go back to the list because we got to finish it, right? There were 6 of them. So Sean Murphy Bunting, I was going to talk about something else, but let's continue this. Yeah, Sean Murphy Bunting is very important, because he plays a key role, nickel position, which is probably the toughest position, I think, on defense because you have to do so many different things. So, Mark, I'll let you elaborate more on that.
Yeah, so Sean Murphy Bunting, we if you guys haven't seen our film study of him, go check it out. A lot of Buccaneer fans didn't like him during the season. And he himself said on Loose Cannon's podcast, He was playing through injuries. He said it in the current as well. Playing through injuries. It was something he had to get through and learn and mature and be as a player as well. I mean, because everyone's dealing with injuries, but it's his heady part of the game where you don't see it because he didn't make the play on the ball. He didn't knock it down, didn't get an interception, but he was in the right spot. We kind of show that in the film study. He's a smarter, cerebral type of player. Sometimes he does get beat. They all get beat. No one's 100%. Let's be honest about that. But the thing is, he is in the right position, making the quarterback hold the ball a little longer. What happens when that happens? Sacks. Team overall, 11 working as one. That's something I really like with Sean Murphy Bunting's game. And guess what? If the pass rush gets there prior, they're forcing an errant throw, and Sean Murphy Bunting's the one coming down with an interception. And they proved it in the playoffs. So hopefully SMB from the playoffs transitions into regular season success. Because, I mean, we saw what Leonard Fournette looked like in the regular season, and now everyone only remembers what the playoffs were. So let's see what happens in that transition.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you nailed it. So I'm just going to go straight to number 5, Tyler Johnson. Now that is a very interesting name, and we talked about the receiver position a lot this offseason. I mean, it is like so damn good, just really good. So, I mean, Tyler Johnson is going to have to be. I mean, he's going to have to be something. I think he'll be something special, but it's going to take some time for him to see the field because we're so damn loaded at that
Right.
spot. So, yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Is he going to see time? That's the thing. We saw his production in the playoffs, huge catch after huge catch. It felt like it was only one catch a game, but that one catch is pretty damn big. His route running has always been crisp and clean. It's more, can he do it consistently? But the thing to do that, you have to have playing time. And I don't want him to have playing time because we have too many good players that I don't want to get hurt. So I that's a tough one. I think we'll like to see him in preseason and what he looks like then. Or hopefully we're up 30 and we can just put him in later in games. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's go down to number 6. The rookie everyone wants to see, outside linebacker Joe Tryon. Obviously, he's massive. He's huge. What's his production going to be like on the field? No one knows. He hasn't played in over a year. So what's your take on Joe Tryon?
yeah, Joe Tryon, man, he again another X factor for the defense. So, his ability, we talked about it, his speed and, just his overall potential is very high. So really it's like, does he take a step like Tristan Wirfs? Does he take a step like Antoine Winfield Jr. that we saw last year? Can he be that type of impact player, even with limited snaps that he's going to see? So, I mean, it's just going to be a lot of fun. They can do so many different things with that front 7. And you add in a guy like Joe Tryon, who is twice the athlete that Anthony Nelson is. And we love Anthony Nelson, but he just can't do what Joe Tryon can do. And the way he can do it so fluidly, I mean, he's a perfect fit for this defense. And guys, if you haven't seen our film studies on Joe Tryon, there's 2 of them. They're really good. Be sure to check those out on our channel at Real Bucs Talk on YouTube. So really good stuff there. And that goes into the point, Christopher Cole is showing here, who's going to back up Shaq and JPP. Well, Joe Tryon, Anthony Nelson. I think those are your guys. And, maybe you see like a Cam Gill or one of these other guys get in there too. But I think for the most part, it's going to be Joe Tryon, being that extra third down pass rusher.
Yeah, and Jack Trudel in the chat said Willie McGinnis type. I mean, he's big bodied. It looks like he's put on a lot of weight. You saw some of the pictures that he had after the draft when he got drafted. Dude's looking pretty big. I mean, he's 6'5, 260. He probably put on a little bit more. Let's see what they ask him to be at once he's in training camp. Let's see. It's very young, raw type of guy, but he has both the speed and power. And he has some drop back ability. He just can do it all. I mean, that position that we use, you saw Shaq Barrett, JPP drop back plenty of times.
Mm-hmm.
He can fit that role. It's just more his continuity in the defense, understanding where he needs to be. That's the biggest problem we had last season on defense. Knowing all the moving parts. Okay, yeah, Todd Bowles is amazing blitzing. He can get after the quarterback left and right, but if the guys dropping back to cover aren't in the right spot, it's an easy picking for the quarterback. And that's something they cleaned up in the second half of the season. And holy hell, that defense turned up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Yeah. So, talking about those 6 players that we discussed, I mean, I think it's a good list, and I think a lot of those guys are gonna have big impacts this season, at least you hope so, and, talking about Tyler Johnson, I mean, I just can't get over how, deep that wide receiver core is. Like, it's crazy that Tyler Johnson probably could be like a number 3 on most teams or even a number 2 possibly, and he's number 5 on our team. So it's just crazy to think about, and great problem to have because those guys at the top sometimes they do get hurt, and it's good to have that depth when needed, and especially with 17 games coming up. Uh, but I wanted to shout out Hans. Thank you, Hans. We appreciate it. Yeah, that's all we do. We talk football, man. You're not going to get much like pop, social content from us. We're not going to like go into movies or anything like that. Sometimes we mention it, and we try to have fun. We like to joke around, but mainly it's football. And you'll see that throughout the season. Be sure to check us out. We're going to be talking in depth X's and O's. That's the nature of our game that we like to share.
It's our obsession. I mean, I think all of us as fans have an obsession.
We're pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're glued to see if there's any updates or anything. And like, what the heck is this? If we sign a player,
We get so excited. It's like New Year's or Christmas. It's like, man, he came to the Buccaneers. This is great.
let me look up his stats for the past 5 years. This is what he did. Is he going
Yeah.
to succeed here?
Yeah. And we try to make it like, yeah, the Bucs did the right thing. We always try to be on the positive side. It's like, yeah, he's gonna have the greatest season ever with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's like,
Or realists as well.
yeah, for sure. But it's
Oh,
fun.
oh yeah, we were downing the defense in that Bears game left and right because there was missed assignments left and right.
Oh yeah.
We're going to show you what it is that's going on. We're not going to turn a blind eye to something where it's blatantly obvious what's going on.
Mhm.
Kevin White in coverage was not good. If you guys saw our film
Yeah.
set of Kevin White today, actually.
Mhm.
Check it out. Give it a thumbs up. Hell, give this live stream a thumbs up for us. If you like the channel, like the content, help us out, support us. But that's
Yeah.
a big thing. Devin White, if he takes next step up, that defense is already good, and he's
Mhm.
a really good player. Start talking great, elite, best player on defense in any team. Like Devin White could be getting those names, that kind of chatter towards his name.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And another nugget on Devin White, Sean Murphy Bunting talked about it. Like Devin just needed to back up further so he could go downhill more. That's what he talked about. And
You
um,
don't say.
yeah. So he started just getting deeper in his drops, and that helped him out, where he could read things in front of him and then just attack. I mean, and that's the biggest takeaway from our film study. Like he's so good at just going and pursuing, like sideline to sideline, going up the field. That's where he's great at. And so if he can do that more often, then it's going to obviously benefit him and allow him to be that special type of player.
Absolutely. Actually, can you bring up that Bucks time 12 comment?
Yeah, here we go.
This is actually a really good comment here. So he says, I've seen Arians use 2 depth charts for the wide receivers. The way he showed it, Scotty backs up Evans as the outside, and Tyler backs up the slot wide receivers. Scotty would be number 2 on the outside, and Tyler number 3 inside. That's actually probably where Tyler Johnson is going to get his time. Right
Right.
there. I know a lot of people want to see him. He is a good slot. He literally was the slot in college. In Minnesota, he was elite in the slot. It's just his little shiftiness in space, and he knows how to find space in zones. We could use that. I'll be
Yeah.
honest. And literally, if you watched again, I know we've said this a lot, our film study on him, he just finds space. He doesn't have elite speed, but he knows how to make you miss a little bit, and he knows where to find space in zones. He just has that awareness. And I think that Tom Brady sees that, notices it, and will find him in the holes. But yeah, I can't wait. A lot,
Yeah.
lot of good talent. Number 5, but could be seeing the field in the slot. Hell yeah, I'll take
Right.
it.
Yeah, and they're pretty much grooming him to be like that Chris Godwin type, play that Larry Fitzgerald role. That's what they see him as, and I think it's a perfect fit for what he wants to do. And again, you talk about the flexibility that this offense has. You can put Chris Godwin on the outside, have Tyler Johnson play inside. There's a lot of different things you can do where you're running screens and have you want better blockers out there. For that screen, you put Tyler Johnson out there. And allow a Jalen Darlin, my God, to run behind those two. That's fun times. And then Antonio Brown too on the other side. I mean, forget about it. Yeah.
There's so many interchangeable things. It's gonna be fun. It's not always gonna be rainbows and butterflies, guys. Though there's always lulls and things.
Oh yeah.
We hope for a undefeated season, but let's
No, there's gonna
aim.
be a lot.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
gonna
a
be
lot of
lulls in the season.
yeah, a lot of challenges. Again, this team is going from the hunters to the hunted now. You're going to receive the best of the best from everybody every week. So it's really important, like, Bruce Arians says, we haven't done anything this year. We got to have that right mindset coming in to be the hunters again and come out with that aggressive, take it to the pedal kind of mindset where we're getting after it. We're not being conservative in the first half. We're trying to score as fast as we can early in the game and get the leads, because when we get the leads, then it's pretty much, lights out, because our defense is going to be coming after you. So yeah, but undefeated season definitely could be fun.
Uh, Wishing B said, "I believe Tom Brady has an undefeated season within him. Tom has been hunted for decades." Think about this. I mean, you talk about legacy and just I think I mentioned this way earlier in the beginning of the offseason.
Mhm.
Imagine Tom Brady, first year the Super Bowl was in Tampa. He wins the Super Bowl. It goes all the way. First team, first guy to ever make it to the same stadium that they play in, wins Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What if first time it's a 17-game season? Tom Brady goes undefeated. First time.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him. I
Dang.
mean, there he's crazy. Like, he's just a crazy man. Like, and
Right?
football has been his life. It is his life. Like, he lives and breathes it, and he finds ways to continue to get younger. So it's like, yeah, I wouldn't put it past him and this team to do something special like that. And they definitely have the roster to do so. But again, it takes bounces. You got to get lucky, and you got to have, everything fall into place.
I mean, Tom freaking Brady, man. MCL torn. It's just thank you, Tom. Again, I think we said it enough last year, but
Yeah.
you never say it enough.
Thank you, TB12. I
Right?
mean, all that great work that he gets done. I mean, it really does work. Like, it's a miracle. So,
Are you
yeah,
eating your avocado tequila or drinking avocado tequila?
man, I need to. I haven't. I mean, I've had tequila recently, but man, I need some avocado tequila, because obviously that's special. So,
Think Kyle Trask is a lot bigger. Hopefully, he's the one holding Brady up after this boat parade we're gonna have.
right.
I know it's in the future. I can feel it. I can sense Kyle Trask gonna
Yeah.
hold some people up. Let's see then what's going on the track. In the chat. Yeah, a lot of people are still thinking it's capable of having an undefeated season. Yeah, that's wishful thinking. I'm still gonna say that. I think it's possible, but anything's possible, right? So don't get let down if it doesn't happen. That's what I'm going to say. I think a lot of Buck fans right now are on cloud nine, thinking it's just going to be easy sales. Let's think about it. Like when you're really the hunted, that's a big deal, a really big deal. I know Tom Brady's been hunted for decades now. It's crazy to say, but still, it's going to be a hard road to get. Hopefully, we get the home field advantage this time. But let's see.
Right. Yeah, definitely. All right. So I think we're gonna try to open it up for phone lines. I'm gonna add this at the bottom of the screen here. Hold on.
Johnny Dean says it right. Let's start with a healthy season.
Yeah.
Don't get hurt in training camp before the season even starts.
Hold on, guys.
Yeah,
Apologize.
we're doing call-ins nowadays, guys. So
If I can get
plus
this.
guys to get this down.
Yeah, if I can get the banner in here. All right, here we go. Hold on.
So if you guys want to call in, get ready, get your phones ready. Calls in. It's going to give you what's your name. You tell us your name, and then we'll bring you in. So, and with that, let's understand who else do you see as a competition to find a starting job. Who are your favorite guys to push people to get to that position? Because I mean, the starting 11 on offense and defense are pretty much there. Special teams is pretty much where it's going to be the competition. So
Yeah.
let's see if you see the bottom line right there. Call in 813-485-4446. Give us a ring if you want to get on last 10 minutes of Real Bucks Talks live stream.
Yeah.
Cut it up with Michael and Mark.
Yeah. So, I mean, what I was trying to go to earlier before I messed up on the whole topic situation. I was talking about like just overall keys for this training camp. I think obviously one, healthy, that's going to be the most important. And then, finding that consistent identity on offense and defense, which I think we have, but we want to see it from the play calling standpoint, right? Make sure they're consistent with the play action and doing stuff like that. What we saw pretty much the last 8 games. And then I think third is like certain players taking that next step. And we talked about, Antoine Winfield, Devin White, etc. I think those guys are very important to take that leap. We're going to need it to be even better than we were last year, because I think this year will be tougher just because of that, that monkey on our back. Everyone's coming after us.
I'm saying that just to not get too excited.
Yeah,
That's one thing.
temper expectations.
Because to be honest, a full year with Antonio Brown, I mean, what he did in 8 games was insane.
That's
If you
funny.
at the Stanley Cup one.
That's
No,
great.
they lose the damn Stanley Cup that much avocado tequila.
Right.
It's just to me, like Antonio Brown took this offense to a whole other level. And now if he's here for 17 games, if OJ's on the field 17 games,
Right.
like mind boggling, I guess. And this was all put together last year. Like you just said, if the game plan is correct, they know what they're doing.
Right. Offensive line stays healthy.
Right?
Yeah.
Line stays healthy. Brady knows the system. So even if the line doesn't stay intact and healthy, Brady knows where he can shade towards just to buy himself more time because he knows the offense. He knows
Right.
off the line, what they're doing. He knows just the gel of the offense. And goodness gracious. Like last year was supposed to be just to see the potential. This is supposed to be the year. So I think Buck fans are almost expecting to be at the top immediately. I don't know. I mean, I honestly am. And it's scary to think that. Like after years and years of losing, it's kind of weird to think, no, we should be top dog right now.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee Buck fans don't agree with that at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, after especially after the decade that we went through, and then
Yeah.
past decades of obviously the late '90s, early 2000s of being that consistent team where the Bucks were always picked. Like we were always that team that was picked to go to the Super Bowl. Remember, those years like the '99 and 2000, 2001 seasons, like we were in magazines on the front page and like they were
Yeah.
picking us to win. And then we finally did it obviously in 2002, and then we thought, hey, this is going to be our run, this is going to be our time, and we're going to continue this dynasty. And it just never happened because again we had poor decision making as far as player personnel, etc., cap hell, all those things. So it's funny because like how the cap was managed back then and then how it's managed now, and like this team is set up to win for the next several seasons. So I mean, it's just hopefully they can take advantage of this great opportunity going forward, and the future is still bright. Even after the Tom Brady years, I truly believe that.
Yeah. So I mean, if you think about like when you were mentioning the '90s teams,
Mhm.
they almost had a big signing almost every offseason too, or trade or something. Like, how the hell did we get Simeon Rice? That would be
Yeah.
like I guess never mind. It could be like Von Miller or
Mhm.
his prime or
Yeah.
Khalil Mack in his prime. I guess something like that. But the Bucks pulled something off like that.
Yeah.
Keyshawn Johnson,
Yeah.
stuff like number
Keyshawn,
ones. Like those are
Brad Johnson.
huge moves,
Yeah.
and the Bucks just seemed to be that guy that kept getting it, and it was like we're so damn close. What's going to push us over the top? And it again,
Mhm.
another huge, massive move that's kind of ruined our future, getting John Gruden. But it was the push for the one championship, and
Right.
boy, did it work?
Yeah, yeah, and that's kind of it's funny. It's kind of happened throughout the Bucks last decade before this championship season that we had last year. Going for those big moves. We saw Darrell Revis,
Okay.
Vincent Jackson. A lot of go for it home run type of moves where it just didn't pan out. Brett Favre, trying to trade for Brett
Yeah.
Favre. We had the Jeff Garcia whole that whole thing, and just a lot of different moves that we try to make it big time. Charlie Garner, guys, but they were guys that were like past their prime.
Well, we try to
Um,
get Parcells too. Remember?
yeah, yeah,
Tuna.
right. So just a lot of again, that's kind of been our mo, but now with this team now and drafting has become the critical part, and it's become better. And we actually have a core of very good young talent, mixed in with solid veterans, and just the roster construction has been way better. And now it's time to capitalize on our window, and hopefully we can do that.
Yeah, and for years to come, hopefully.
Right.
Hopefully. That's actually kind of a good point. Wishing B said no Breeze. Obviously, Rodgers is in an emotional space or place. So many teams starting with new QBs. Oh, maybe Rodgers takes his win on the golf course of beating Tom Brady and takes that to, oh, maybe I can do it on the field too. Maybe I should start with Green Bay again. Whatever happens with that, who the hell cares? I mean, he should just come back with Green Bay, but that is emotional status. Just go with what it's going to be. Hell, maybe that's the only place he can beat Tom Brady on the golf course. But I don't know. Hans Gruber, Mark has an excellent camera and lighting. What are you using? This is literally just like a Logitech, what, C920, I think they're called. Simple. I think it's more the software I'm using that's editing it.
Yeah.
But, Mark DP, Sean King was a stud in college, just never panned out for us.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. I mean, he was good at Tulane. And when he got to team and obviously had his run in 99, that next offseason, he just something just didn't click. He didn't take that next step as far as progressing, and unfortunately it didn't work out. And the offensive talent around him wasn't great. Let's be honest. I mean, they made that move for Keyshawn Johnson that offseason, and they thought, okay, he's going to bring us over the top. And Keyshawn, I think, had a really good year that season, but just wasn't enough. Offensive line was way too inconsistent. Sean King was getting beat up. You had your running game and et cetera, but yeah, it just didn't work out for Sean King.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at some of the old games like they've been showing, I guess early in the offseason, like that Rams game where literally Sean King was all over the place, like him work done, the play where he literally is being pulled down by his jersey and just throws it off to work done, runs it down the sideline. He had an arm. I'll give him that for being a smaller guy. He had a cannon on him, so just never panned out. Oh, here we go. There's a good question. Robert Fogarty. Do you think Devin White is the fastest linebacker ever?
Ever? Oh man, I say right now he is. I mean, he ran a 4.37. That's pretty damn fast.
What did Patrick Willis get? Is he 4.4 or is he 4.3?
I never saw him at 4.3. I mean, I know he was a good 4.4, but they would probably be, I would say, all time. Yeah, Devin White. I think. I think Devin White is the fastest, and I put Patrick Willis right next to that.
Those are SEC linebackers right there.
Yeah. I mean, Devin White did that race with those receivers. I mean, he outran them. So I was like, that's crazy.
That dude's a freak. Literally a freak. I mean, I feel bad for offenses. Like the Derek Carr hit in that Vegas game.
Right.
Crazy. Yep. Oh, Ken Barrett in the chat, plus a mark. I hope you are having fantastic Monday. Heck yeah. Anytime you get to football, Buccaneer football to be exact, we're excited.
Thanks for checking us out, Ken.
Call in if you want. This is the last final call.
Yep.
Bring it in. If you have any comments, suggestions, just want to be heard your voice heard on our live stream, go ahead and bring it out.
You can tell us we suck. It's all good.
That's true as well.
Yeah, you're free of speech. You can say whatever.
I may quickly hang up.
Yeah.
You may hear this.
In my opinion, that sucked.
Maybe we hear that. I mean,
right.
You never know.
Yeah. Endless possibilities. So.
Hopefully it's good things.
Right.
Let's see. A couple days. Devin White seems like he's playing faster and faster. Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
A lot of that is, like we mentioned earlier, his coverage. As long as it's in front of him, Devin White is the best linebacker in the game, I think. Right. It's just more dropping back, knowing where to be. If he took that game and studied it this offseason, he's going to be the best linebacker. I saw some other YouTuber put out there who's the best linebacker. They had Levante and Devin White up there, and then they had Bobby Wagner and Fred Warner. And I was like, damn. We have two of those guys already at the top. That was the top four. Yeah, Bobby Wagner was number one. But it's close. It is close. I mean,
Yeah.
he has the highest potential of all of them. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
Dude's a
Yeah.
monster.
Do you want to end it on this question here by wishing B? Yeah, I mean, we kind of touched on this, earlier in the pod, but pretty just looking at like the young guys, really. Personally, Jalen Darden, Mark is big on him, and so am I. So, looking at him, how does Kyle Trask do in the preseason? So, really, I look at like all the rookies and the younger players that are fighting for positions. Alex Kappa, I think he's the guy to look for.
Yeah.
See how he comes back, and does he take another step? If he does, my God,
Right.
offensive line is going to be really good. Tristan Wirfs, like, can he be even better than he was last year? It's crazy to think about. So those kind of things, Shaq Barrett, does he have more moves in the arsenal? Like, I know he puts so many moves out there, but man, he's so fun. Vita Vea, does Vita Vea bring back the spin move? I hope so,
Oh, he
because
will
that's fun to watch.
put that ankle to the test.
Yeah.
But for me, Ken Barrett, that's hilarious. Fiance would kill me if I called in and not give her attention.
That's great.
Hey, I know your pain. I'll say that. But I'll talk about mine before we head on out. Obviously, the rookies. We all like Jalen Darden, Kyle Trask, like you mentioned. Joe Tryon. What can he bring? Is he ready? Is he NFL ready? I know he's got the NFL ready body, but does he have it on playing speed, play awareness, stuff like that? Yeah, Hainsey can just keep push for a starting position. You never know. Eventually, does he get thrust on that? But my thing is, does Anthony Nelson take a big step forward? Can he beat out Joe Tryon for that position? That's a big competition right there. I mean, that Anthony Nelson is a veteran. He should be able to win that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Antoine Winfield, I've been hooting and hollering about him all off season. Does he take that massive step forward and become like literally one of the best safeties in the game? That's how highly I think of him. And then, yeah, just the rookies in general and who wins those special teams battles.
Mhm.
Other than that, get excited regardless. It's going to be a fun, stacked training camp, and we're going to, I believe, second day of pads.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
August 1st, which is a Sunday. So if you guys are out there that day, be sure to reach out, or we'll probably put something on Twitter or something if you want to just say hello. You're more than welcome to. We'll definitely chat up football all day. But with that said, guys, again, we appreciate all the support and the comments. The questions were awesome tonight. So thank you so much. Thank you to Bucs Report. We're excited to be officially a part of your Facebook stream and be on your YouTube, etc. Be a part of this great platform. So it's really nice to have, and looking forward to the future and working with you guys. So again, thank you all. And with that said, everyone have a great night, and go Bucs.